George to please chair the session. We will start with a talk on play and children, requesting Dr. Amola Patel to please take over. Ma'am, the floor is all yours.
So I'm also looking forward to listening to this talk because the topic is extremely interesting. Dr. Amola Patel is a developer.
You wanted that intro? That's okay.
It's okay?
Yeah?
Yeah, okay. She can introduce herself, huh?
Yeah, good. Okay. Okay, so my topic is play and children, diagnostic and therapeutic. So I just wanted to start with a simple question. When we say diagnostic and therapeutic with play, what do you mean? Like, what can we diagnose with play? Right? Anybody from the audience would like to say when we start with play? No?
Can I?
Yeah.
Stress.
Stress, yes. We can diagnose stress.
Development also?
Yes. Okay, so there are two different things. One is development and another is behavior. These two things we can observe during the play. Now, as we know that through these years, so many years, developmental pediatrics has been considered as a non-glamorous branch as compared to the vaccines and all. But today, Dr. Nair said that it is upcoming and, bread and butter of pediatrics. But when it again comes to the word play, then it becomes again non-glamorous. More people would be there listening to developmental coordination disorder. But let me say this, like play is an integral part of childhood. Without play, nobody can develop. Even at this age, we cannot develop without play. So it does not include just diagnostic approach, but also has the therapeutic value as well. It is not good to define play. So how do I go about it? Okay. We have seen in past few years that there is a severe reduction in the play time of a children. Maybe there are hundreds of reasons, but most common the screen time, which we have been talking about it a lot since past 4 or 5 years. Apart from that, there is a lot of importance being given to the academic performance rather than the life skills. So parents have this fixed schedule for their kids, like they have school hours, and after schools they have activity hours, and even the marketing is also depending on that, like whatever market, whatever the product you say, it will have some or other thing to do with the achievements rather than the actual learning. So even the apps, they supposedly say that these are the educational apps, but do child really need to be on that app? I would not like to define play because it can be anything, but more importantly what I believe is rather than the theoretical aspects, like it has to be intrinsic or something, what I believe is there should be no extrinsic goals. Because when we talk about play, a parent will ask what my child will learn, even with that play. There will be a lot of educational toys, age-appropriate games. So is it really important that we consider just learning through the play? There are so many other things. Of course, learning is a byproduct of it. And there should be no instructions from parents. So these are the two things which I find important because, so generally I say that can there be a child story without morals? Can there be poems without meanings, just limericks that child can enjoy? So play should be something which child can enjoy. So this is very interesting to know whether there is a development of play with age or child develop with play because of play. So let's see. So in the field of cognition, if we say at 6 months, when they learn to grasp the object, they start sensory exploration by mouth. So that's the cognitive development. But when there is a fine motor development of gripping the toy, then when they learn to imitate, then comes the games like Captain, change the sign. And when they have the concept of color, then they can play games like color. Okay. In language, there can be a lot of reciprocal sounds to start with, which eventually leads to babbling. A talk of a parent, continuous attention given to a child is the key point for any child. Then it converts into jabbering during play, which eventually lead to sentence formation. So again, this whole play is a process where eventually language development occurs. And when they play with other kids, the more structured, grammatically correct language development occurs. Then motor development, it is very easy to understand. Like when the child learns to crawl, then it's the easiest game is hide and seek. Parent can hide behind the sofa, and with crawling, child would go there and find the parent. And that then can be ball games where they learn throwing and balance. And again, all those games like hopscotch or skipping, which are very well known. In case of social development, which I feel it is very important, nowadays we see a lot of kids with autism. So peekaboo is the earliest game. All kids enjoy peekaboo. And if you don't see a child playing it, you should think of something with a communication disorder or a poor eye contact about it. Board games, they learn the rules of the life and they learn to control their impulse. They learn to give turns to other people. And through make-believe activities, they learn to analyze the situation. They know like how would a parent behave or how would a doctor behave, and accordingly their activities change. So this is the basic simple development of play as well as its association with developmental milestones. There are many theories and many studies already been done on the effect of and the help of play, like it causes cellular support, there is a molecular support also. Eventually, what it comes to the theory of early child development and brain plasticity. So the play helps takes the concept of brain plasticity and it helps early child development. To summarize, if we see at the physical aspects of the play definitely improves the gross motor and fine motor abilities of the child. It increases the endurance. With better motor and fine motor skills, they can take part into more games and they can connect with more kids at preschool or at school. It is very clearly known fact that the kids with cerebral palsy or motor deficit find it hard to play with other kids. And definitely with physical activities, the obesity, hypertension, and childhood diabetes, all these things are better prevented. Cognitive improvement, it has been proved through with studies that children who has 1 hour of play during the school hours, the recess time, when instead of just giving them lunch or the breakfast, if they are allowed to play, they perform better academically. So there is definitely increased executive functioning, which includes the memory, the flexible thinking, and the self-regulation. The good part is socially, as we talk, that there is a better impulse control with play. So they learn to behave in a proper way, and there is a better attention span with play. It definitely indirectly also increases the academic performance. So it's a kind of process which prepares a child for the school. So school readiness is depending on how the child is playing in their childhood. Communication with other kids. Not only it is important for social development, it also increases the vocabulary, it increases the language performance, and like expanding the vocabulary. More importantly, they learn to communicate with others, they learn to negotiate with others, because all these skills are mandatory if they are having a group activity. This is very important to convey the message to parents that not only kids get benefits with the play therapy, even adults get benefits from the playing with their kids. Most of the time, they have some reason of constraint of time or whatever, but they themselves can re-experience their own childhood, they can rejuvenate, or it can be a great stress buster. But at the same time, I would say that it would be impactful to have a better parent-child relationship, because no matter what we talk about adolescent counseling, like if you say at the age of 14 years or 15 years with some problems to be friendly with your child, it's not going to work that way. You have to be friendly since day one of the life. Okay. Now some parent can ask, there are so many fancy tools available. We have digital shape sorter, we have all digital games which we can play otherwise in the physical world. So why would we choose traditional shape sorter or a traditional game over the digital one? So definitely you won't get that fine motor functioning with the digital game. Second, in physical games, the communication is two-way. The biggest disadvantage of this digital game is there is only one-way communication. Like that person, even if is giving response, like that is also, fixed and monotonous response. If you have heard the child who is lot of into the digital thing, they'll say, nice, you did it. So it's like so much monotonous. They don't understand the difference, right? So that the communication problem is there. They don't understand the spatial relationship. And definitely, there is definite lack of sensory inputs, which is most important. The sensory integration is so bad with the kids who are into the digital world. There are many types of plays, and I'll not go into detail of types of play. Best is we mix it all up. Let child play whatever they want to play. Let them decide. Let them decide the rules also. It can be different for every child. So now coming back to the original topic, the diagnostic and the therapeutic part of it, right? So I was just thinking, like, how do we, in the clinical practice, add the play component in the pediatric OPD? So till now, we have been talking about this TDSC scale, Trivandrum Developmental Scale, and which you must have done in the screening protocol as well. So is it enough? Or, of course it is enough as a screening, but maybe if we add a little fun component to it, it can be good for us also, like it can be like stress buster for a pediatrician as well, and it will be easy for parents also to be part of it. So in 0 to 6 months, the TDSC one says a social smile, eyes follows pencil, whole stayed heady, back to stomach and turns head to sound. For game, I would simply say, Dr. Nair also said in this, like just play with the child. You will learn that whether child has social smile or not. You will not learn that child has eye contact or not. Because you know that through play, you are trying to figure out something. The child doesn't know. So that child will have his most pure behavior with you. So you can definitely identify whether there is any problem with eye contact or vision, like whether there is focusing or following or not. Right? So between 0 to 6 months, if I talk about educational, ask parent that this is very critical period. They have to keep on talking with their child. Allow them mouthing, because that is how they sensory explore the toys and objects. And place baby in different positions. Let them explore whatever the child can. In 7 to 12 months, the TDSC says transfer of object, raises self to sitting, standing by furniture, fine prehension of palate. In game, between 7 to 12 months, we can set a practice of playing either peekaboo or waving bye-bye. Peekaboo is for object permanence and waving bye-bye is for imitation. These both are communication skills. At the same time, socialization skill as well. We can check vision, we can check social development, and we can rule out autism if there is a immediate response to it. Between 7 to 12 months, it is very important that we now let them explore the world, because crawling must have started. So the more they explore the world, more they are going to learn. It is better that we don't define the boundaries. They learn cause and effect. So this is the time when we can offer a mechanical toy like banging or a piano or something like that. And again, playing peekaboo or again giving sensory exposure, it is very important. By 12 to 18 months in motor, by TDSC, we are looking at whether the child is able to walk independently or not, whether child is able to throw a ball or not, and pet a cake. I would suggest the simple tools like just a picture book and even a fan in your clinic, if you simply ask where is fan, and if child points to that object, that's pointing an object. A one question between 12 to 18 months. A simple game of saying that give this book to your parent, and then you know whether child is able to follow a command or not. A simple question, where is cow in this book? Identifying picture. So just along with the screening tool, one or two fun game we can define between that period of time between each, like 0 to 6, 6 to 12, 12 to 18. So yes, between 12 to 18, generally I would suggest that at last give a car or doll, and if child is playing with only wheels of the car, or he is just playing with the doll continuously, then think of again a communication disorder. Okay, now 2 to 3 years is the time when there is a concept formation develop, when we are talking about the colors, shapes, counting, picture identification, everything. So this is the time when you offer as many different toys as possible. But again, this is not always possible. So what to do about it? It is very important that we understand the basic concept. Like just having one tool, any shape sorter or beads or a Jenga blocks can serve the purpose. Like with these blocks, I can do color and matching identification. We can do counting. We can do fine motor functioning. With talk, we can do socialization. We can make them follow the command of giving maybe 1 or 2 blocks to other. That is how we also can check the speech and language development as well. I'll not go into detail of 4 to 6 years because it is a huge topic depending on the level of the child or the school readiness. Now there is a quick question about this Jenga block. Let's see. How many activities can be done? Anybody? Like what are the things we can do with Jenga blocks if we have just Jenga blocks in the clinic? Yes, sorting of colors, comprehension, counting, yes, tower, yes. Okay, so many things. We can do color matching, we can do sorting, we can do counting, then we can do some advanced skills like sequencing, like red, yellow, what comes next, kind of that. Tower making, pretend play, just we can pretend that this is a phone and you talk to your dadi or, talk to your dada, something like that. We can ask them for logical thinking, that make a car out of these blocks or make a shape of your choice or something of these blocks. We can check the language development also. So we just need one tool, whatever of your preference, one tool, and we can diagnose and check many things. It is also been interesting to know, understand this, that even with this one tool, we can explain parents also, that we need not have multiple things at home. But it is the vision that with one object or one toy, only we can make them learn so many things. Because sometimes they feel that they play for 1 or 2 days and then they are done with it. And we can't keep on changing the toys every other day. So they need not change the toy, they need to offer it the same toy in a different way. Then it will be of more interest to a child. Okay, I would be concluding with this. Previously we had many games. Like one state, Gujarat, we had Langdi, Punjab, Kabaddi famous. I'm sure South had their own games. Many traditional games like spitting top and lakhoti or marbles or whatever, chaupat. We used to play a lot Antakshari. That would help us increase our memory like anything, which has been converted the newer concept of one nation, one citizen. So now we have one nation, one game, right? And let me tell you, this is disaster. So what is the role of pediatrician? Simple, just advocate the play. Just make sure that you are protecting child's right to play on their own, the way they want to play. right? And you just focus on the play time, a fun play time rather than any learning. Learning will come along with that. So at all well baby clinics, every visit, anytime, every time, please prescribe play. Okay, so I would say life is a game and play it. This is a very, very cliche sentence. But I would say don't play with life of a child. Please don't. Let them play. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Very appropriate for our time. I would, I mean, of course, I'm 100% agree. Any questions from the audience? I have a question. So we do now, some of us did a module that I think they came from Central IAP, where they talked about how in each pediatrician visit, you need to cover a variety of aspects of the child's care, not just acute care. You look at immunization, you could look at development, then you've got to talk about safety and any suggestions for development. So among that, because also with the high numbers of children with obesity in the teenagers, so is there a recommendation? I agree, definitely we should say play with your children, take them outdoor, but is there an outdoor play recommendation, like how much time for different age groups?
There is no how much time sort of recommendation yet been identified, but I would say at least there should be some defined time. You know, out of that busy schedule, there should be some amount of time which has been like they are up to play. So even during our sessions with disabled kids, when we ask them, like they have like arranged sessions throughout the day. And even with the kids with autism, they said they are then to their own world. We ask them to bring, like give them some time to be on their own. At least let them decide what they can do. Otherwise, they are clueless what they can do. They'll come again and to the parents and like now next what? Right? They even don't have any idea like what they can do next. On their own, they cannot decide. So this is a one book which 3 or 4 months back I published it, and it is about a simple 50-page book, how a parent can offer a different toy, and so something like that. It is just some eye-opener. A parent should know that even a simple game can be helpful to a child. Because ultimately, end of the day, they'll ask you, like, is it helpful? Is this going to help my child? You know, that's the basic concern of every parent. So through this, I have just tried to make it a point that even a simpler thing can be helpful to a child. Please allow him to do.